Colleen Hoover has taken the world by storm. Her books are always on the New York Times bestseller list, and she has surpassed in interest trending around the world genre classics like Nora Roberts or Nicholas Sparks. But why though? Hi, I'm Maria from Read Fine Books, and today's discussion is about Colleen Hoover's books. I've read most of them, and I am a huge fan right now. So be aware my opinion will be biased. However, I am not the only one obsessed with her books. There's a whole community of us. I'm going to try to explain why. Even if you're not a Colleen Hoover fan, I'm sure you'll find something of interest here. Firstly, I need to say that people who choose a romance novel really want the happy end. But they also want to work for it. The happy end is a whole lot better if characters have to suffer before they get to it. The more they suffer, the better. However, in the majority of romance novels today, the suffering is quite minimal. Problems don't seem real. What I see Colleen Hoover doing is actually dealing with real problems: infertility, domestic abuse, drug addiction. She chose to put them in a romantic format, but the trauma is very well researched. And ever since Lisbeth Salander, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the feminine bestseller, is a little darker than you might think. This is why books like Verity, It Ends With Us, All Your Perfects, Heartburns, Hopeless do so well. They feel a cultural thirst for something like that, and there is even a name to this new subgenre. It's called the domestic noir. These are books in which readers can identify with the main characters, but they are also taken out of their daily lives. Marriage is the ultimate setting one can explore. It is the culmination of a journey of love, of friendship. It is more complex than the classic fall in love, live happily ever after story. The stakes are higher, and we can actually see her success followed a deeper exploration of these topics. Her first books are not remarkable, and readers can attest to her real development as a writer. The latest books actually cannot be put down. What she does right is explore dark subjects really deeply. She goes all in into one and doesn't follow many topics in a book. She focuses for at least a third of a book on exploring one idea. Let's take the example of All Your Perfects. Here, she goes out of her way to show how infertility can affect even the most perfect couples. Even if they are most definitely in love, infertility takes a toll on a couple. It affects women differently than it affects men, though both are affected. It destroys a couple's sex life. It is indeed a trauma for the couple, not just the woman, even if she may be affected more. This book is emotional and I think important. Portrayal of thoughts, the guilt, they are all real. This is something that happens very often in couples that deal with infertility, and it is very relatable. Another good example is It Ends With Us. This is actually based on a real story, as Colleen Hoover confesses at the end of the book. Here she dives deep into domestic abuse, how it starts, how it progresses, how the victim behaves, how she protects her abuser, why she does it, what she suffers, how she copes. The lies she tells herself, her family, her children, how it affects them all. The entire book is devoted to understanding this trauma and the cult of silence around it. And yes, you have love scenes, sex scenes, love triangles, and you actually fall in love with the abuser. I did. I found him charming and captivating, and just like the victim did, it felt really hard to believe it is not just all a big misunderstanding, because he was just so perfect, and the doctor no less. And that is another part of the beauty and attraction to her novels, the morally grey characters. They are all relatable. They are not bad people. They can love and hurt someone at the same time with the best of intentions. They can hide their own traumas and have no control over their behavior. And Colleen Hoover puts us in a whirlwind of events that affect all of their characters, so we cannot help but be immersed in a book and love all her characters. In Hopeless, the scenario is less likely. But what draws someone in is the intimacy. We witness two people fall in love. They have interesting conversations and even more interesting silences. The idea of a neighbor being a horrible, horrible parent is terrible and also not new, sadly. We are very familiar to it all. But another thing she has in her books quite a lot are steamy sex scenes. And after 50 Shades of Grey, one might wonder, are those steamy sex scenes what actually sell the books? Because they are vivid, they are captivating, they are very descriptive, they are dreamy. They are not the reason her books sell. There are a whole lot of books with steamy sex scenes, and ultimately they don't matter that much. What matters is human closeness. And even if you might not believe it, human closeness was the reason 50 Shades also sold well. Colleen Hoover understands how to create human closeness, connection, intimate conversations, emotion, as well as lust. We have that in another example, Heartburns. That book draws us in with the title from the very beginning. Also, Bea's hard life with a drug addict parent makes us hope for a happy end instantly. The idea that she hasn't had anyone to connect with all her life, anyone to hug her, is heartbreaking. That's why A Perfect Stranger worming his way into her heart gives us good vibes and instant chills, because we recognize an evolution in her, we recognize how she opens up, we see how human closeness can heal, and how intimate conversations can change a person. All of Colleen Hoover's books vary the dark subject she deals with. Her fans appreciate how she approaches new subjects all the time, how she chooses different styles and focuses on often hushed subjects. That's why when she went all out of her comfort zone to create something that is more of a thriller than a romance, the fans followed. With Verity, Colleen Hoover proved she can create suspense and, even more importantly, controversy. The world has become team letter or team manuscript ever since Verity, and they all have valid opinions on the subject. This ability to create a buzz is evidently in the world of social media a great plus. Verity is the kind of book that, because of the strong emotional response it generates, doesn't leave you indifferent. You may love it or hate it, but you really, really want to talk about it very much. You want to talk about Verity, hate her thoughts. Was she really that evil? Did she really have all those bad thoughts? All in all, either by creating a dark atmosphere for romance, or controversy, or familiarity, or relatability, no one can escape the Colleen Hoover addiction. I loved all of her books, and if you haven't read them already, I highly recommend, especially those I discussed here. But if you have already read some of them, please do share. Why do you love them, or why do you hate them? I'll expect your comments either here or on my Discord channel, where we can discuss all her books. I'm Maria from Read Fine Books. Thank you for watching.